Hi guys, why do seemingly successful businesses have such dramatic failures? Let's talk about it in this video. So there's actually a very repeatable and predictable failure path here. So this is what happens. A business becomes successful because of a breakthrough product, whether it's an electric car in the case of Tesla, whether it's, a mobile computing device in the case of Apple, whatever it is, they have a breakthrough product. That product breaks them into the market. It's amazing. It's awesome. It gets a lot of followers, but it reaches a saturation point. The saturation point is when nobody else wants to really buy your product, okay? Because there's always going to be some Samsung users who love their Samsung phones and never go over to iPhone. There's always going to be some people who just hate Teslas, me myself included, who are never going to buy a Tesla. Simple as that. So when you get to that point, the market is saturated. You cannot sell to any more new customers. You can sell to some existing customers that already exist out there that want to buy your product again, but you can't make headwind on any new customers. Now, maybe you control 50% of the market at that point, eyeballing it. Maybe it's even 90% of the market. But there's always going to be that 25% of customers or that 50% of customers that are never, ever, in a million years, drag them through hell or not, going to buy your product. It's as simple as that. So you reach basically a stagnation point. Now, when you're manufacturing hardware, like cars, like phones, like computers, then you have a very, very serious problem. What happens then is that until that hardware breaks, uh, hi Apple for not making repairable devices, but until that hardware breaks, then how are you going to make money? You're not. That's a problem. So you can either make non-repairable devices like our iPhones and our MacBooks that are very unrepairable, or you can sell subscription services. Oh, Apple does that as well. So you can sell subscription service to make money off that, but you have to branch out essentially into other products. That is where the problem lies. Now, that branching out happens because you've expanded fast. You've hired thousands of people because of your breakthrough product, which has been selling like hotcakes. And now, because you've reached a saturation point in the market, that product is not selling anymore because everybody has one. Everybody has your latest gizmo, and nobody wants to buy any more of it, and you can't break through into any more customers. So you have to open up a new product line, or you have to lay a bunch of people off. Well, the first stupid decision is you hired a bunch of people on your breakthrough project, not thinking that you're ever going to reach a saturation point where nobody's going to buy a product again. So now you can either have a huge layoff and reduce your workforce to like 30 people or whatever, or you can branch out into a new product. And what a lot of companies do, a lot of companies get greedy at the same time. They've just made their 30 million, they've just made their 50 million, whatever it is. Now they want to go for 100 million. Maybe they want to go for a billion. They want to expand. They want to go through this hyper expansion, and they want to go to and control, have all these different products they can control, always go out, all these different things. We've seen this with, Tesla coming out with all these different models, and now trying to come out with the Cybertruck and trying to come out with the semi truck thing and all that kind of stuff. Okay, these companies are branching out because they can't sell any more stuff. They can't sell any more stuff, so they branch out into other parallel lines of business. Mostly because of greed, and secondly because they want to keep people in jobs. Very unfortunately, when it happens, you're moving away from your core product. You're moving away from that one thing that made you successful. So you're doing one thing awesome, and now you're trying to do two things awesome. That second thing is not going to be awesome. It's probably not going to work out. Maybe you get really desperate. Maybe you'd start branching out into three, four, maybe five different products. Now, excuse me, but you instead of having one great product, you have five mediocre products. Oh my God, you're going into a death spiral of your business at that point. We have seen that in so many tech companies. We have seen it with Microsoft and the Zune. We have seen it with, Apple branching out into various things. We have seen it with other companies that I'm not going to mention a name of doing the same exact model. They get rich and they get greedy. And when they get greedy, the only way they can capitalize more customers, capitalize more of the market, is to introduce more products. They introduce more and more products. And instead of doing one thing awesome or two things awesome, they do five things really super poorly. This gets even worse when you bring acquisitions into the picture. Maybe you are like a hardware company, for instance. I'm not going to mention any names, you're a hardware company, and you bought a software company so you can get their customers and get their products. Rather than developing this stuff in house, you decide you're just going to buy another company and bring all the employees in and they can become your company, blah, blah, blah. You know the rest of it, okay? It gets even worse at that point because you don't understand the product. You don't really understand the customers. You're just buying your other company to push your profits up and maybe give you a safety net in case your core business falls apart, in case your core product, the thing which you love, the thing which got you into the industry, falls apart. You have this little safety net from the other product. Well, you don't fully understand the other business. You don't fully understand the other company. You may think you do, but you don't. You don't fully understand the culture. And that is a recipe for disaster. That's why when these businesses merge into other businesses, they say they merge, they're really buying the other business. When that happens, things tend to start to fall apart in the products. So, what is the moral behind this video? The moral behind this video is do one thing or do two things, do them well, and be done with it. Don't get greedy. Don't try and basically buy the whole world through buying tons of businesses or diverging into thousands of different kinds of software because you will do nothing well. Do one thing. Do one thing good. Stick with that one thing. Don't diverge out. Keep hiring minimum. Don't have a breakthrough product and then hire thousands of people, have buildings everywhere like Apple does. Apple has buildings absolutely everywhere. Have thousands of people working for you, buildings everywhere. And then start scratching your heads and wondering, okay, now we've had this breakthrough and everyone's got our product. What are we going to do with all those people? What are we going to do with all those developers? What are we going to do with all these hardware engineers? What are we going to do with all these buildings? Oh my God, we're stuck. What are we going to do? Don't be stuck in that situation. It's better to hire the right number of people than to have a mass layoff later on. That's a given. Mass layoffs cause a lot of bad feeling, a lot of trouble. You break a lot of hearts. You hurt a lot of families doing that. It's better not to hire the people in the first place. It's better to keep your business lean and efficient in the first place and focus on one or two amazing products and don't try and take over the world. When you've made your 50 million, when you've made your 30 million, when you've made your 100 million, when it stagnates, when you've got to the point where you know you can't get any more customers in, be happy operating your business at that level. Don't try and take over the world because you will just do a lot of things really, really poorly and nothing right.